Greetings from the islands of Tana, northern Norway, intersected by the Arctic Circle. The reason for recording here in nature is because I believe competence building takes place outside a course reading list. I am Patrick Murphy with 27 years experience as a teacher trainer. Oh, by the way, due to strong winds, sound recording is not possible, so therefore the voiceover. A general increase in digitalization of higher education sees challenges for teacher training programs. Valuable face-to-face teaching becomes substituted by digital solutions where the students participate from behind the screens at diverse locations. This is especially challenging when working with subject pedagogy and methodology. Through getting on for 30 years of teacher training, I have seen my fair share of school-based exams, believe me, where the assessment of the students is to a large degree based on how well they remember the contents of the books on the reading list. This is not, or at least should not be, the end goal of a professional program. We need to assess students based on their competence, not reproduction of facts, a competence that emulates their future profession as teachers. Fair enough. A school exam in English subject pedagogy will regularly include making a lesson plan, but then as a compartmentalized skill, not as contextualized competence. So also with the home exams, often a combination of an essay and a lesson plan accompanied by didactic reflections and reasoning. Fine, but this still does not emulate the world of the future teacher. I have therefore, to counteract this, through 3 English subject pedagogy courses, developed a home exam that is learner-centered, where the students are given the freedom of choice when it comes to topic and tools used. The tableau-based home exam. The world around us does not consist of fragmented information as in books on the course reading list, nor compartmentalized university courses that come to an end with the final exam, but as a tableau filled by input in all forms, such as sight, sounds, fragrances, emotions, and as we have seen, also wind. Naturally, all of these may not be reproduced in an exam format that is to be submitted digitally, but we can at least work with visual, audio, film, and text as a starting point exploring our compound and complex world in which we live. On the screen now, you'll see the entire task for the 5-day home exam. Not a very long task, but the work included still proved to be fairly comprehensive. The tableau-based format presented here encourages the support of all available resources, which in many ways indeed reflects the current working situation of teachers out in the field where all tools are available in the planning and execution of their lessons. The tableau-based exam format is an opportunity to move from traditional school exams of reproducing facts from the reading list to a more student-centered formal assessment. This is especially critical in professional training, but exam situation and format should ideally emulate the future work and workspace that is the target of the given educational program. The foundation of the 5-day home exam is a self-chosen image from the English-speaking world, be it Route 66, Times Square, Bondi Beach, or even Hogwarts Castle. The students freely select the topical focus of the exam. They are given a framework of requirements to be met. They need to transform the selected background image into an interactive tableau of the desired learning context, which includes images and elements that are interactive, thus letting the intended pupils explore the world created, rather than follow the linear presentation of a textbook. For each of the required topics, which are language, culture, young person's literature, numeracy, and digital skills, the students must include relevant information and tasks for the pupils to carry out. These tasks are accessed through the interactive elements on the tableau. As this sample exam tableau shows us, QR codes have proven a popular option, as they may take the pupils to a variety of internet sources and also provide instructional texts and tasks. There's also a requirement of an edutainment section that provides links to music, documentaries, texts, and fun facts that trigger the pupil's experience beyond the classroom walls, serving the purpose of 1, creating a portal for in-depth learning by drawing on the interests of the pupils and media beyond the classroom walls, and 2, providing a free zone when needing a break from other tasks. For each of the required topics and accompanying tasks, the students must also include a teacher's note where they explain the rationale of their choices. Also, the students may choose for which of the required topics they wish to provide a lesson plan and accompanying didactic reasoning and reflection. The tableau is thus set up for learner exploration, triggering a variety of interests and learning styles, just as in the real world. Each pupil is different in personality, abilities, interests, and learning styles, and also the individual distribution of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. In schools, it is important that each pupil is allowed to maximize their potential. Thus, we speak of providing and fostering adapted learning. It should go without saying that we as faculty in higher education see our students as individuals as well, and provide exemplary instructions and guidance by offering adapted learning in the college or university programs. But do we offer our students adapted learning? A reading list-based reproduction school exam does certainly not. The tableau-based 5-day home exam offers the opportunity for the students to focus on areas where they may shine, but through the variety of tasks given, will also need to show competence in a range of other areas. School exams are usually either written or oral, which limits the opportunity for students to show either the oral or the written competency for course final assessment. The oral component proves to be ideal for triggering a variety of multiple intelligences through the use of low threshold technology as mobile phones or iPads on location in classroom or outdoors. This component is a reflection over the process of making the tableau, the challenges, and how they have been solved. Though an individual exam, students may, as in the future work as teachers, cooperate if they wish. The provided example shows how bodily kinesthetic and interpersonal intelligences are exemplified by 2 students spending part of the exam day on the beach, enjoying a coffee while recording and discussing their tableau. While a couple of other students, they mounted a mobile phone on the car dashboard and recorded the video while out driving, a technique that draws attention away from the camera, resulting in a natural and unstressed presentation. 2 completely different methods of reaching the same goal, and fully adapted to the multiple intelligences and the style of the individual. The students in this action research have all agreed to the disclosure of their identity, though they do remain unknown to the external examiner. This gives room for an anonymous summative assessment by the external examiner, combined with a teacher's assessment based on product, and also the option of taking into mind adapted learning, progression, and the individual qualities of the students. Bottom line is, educating teachers should be modeling, where each student is seen, being seen, and given the opportunity to be valued for his or her skills and competences. The exam products have not only been good in form of grading, but also show creativity and initiative. Benjamin Bloom's 1956 taxonomy of learning, a little bit dated now, has luckily been revised by Anderson et al. In 2001, and is still in my is in my opinion, still a good yardstick for measuring competence development. And note especially that Bloom's 1956 taxonomy categorized the levels in nouns, as opposed to Anderson et al.'s 2001 revision, where the present continuous verb form is used, thus promoting activity. Is this not a main difference between a traditional school exam and my developed home exam? I may have to tread a little carefully here. Oh well, if I do provoke some of you, I guess that's fine. Anyway, an important element of traditional school exams, as I see it, is remembering the material in the reading lists. Thus, some of the aspects of this exam form are stuck in the lower levels of thinking. The tableau format, on the other hand, ensures the ultimate level of higher thinking, creating. The student may draw on his or her strengths, which in this sample released through triggering a range of multiple intelligences. With this approach as a yardstick, the sample home exam, with a framework catering for a large scope of personal preferences and interests, ensuring ownership to both process and product, ticks all the proverbial boxes. With safe ground as a point of departure, the students are more motivated to provide a product they're proud of, rather than struggling to provide standardized responses. The exam gives students options to work on their own premises, rather than those of the textbook-driven exams. The video reflection is an important means for students to not only assess their own work in process, but also the exam format itself, whereby the teacher may value this as formative assessment of providing the course over time. Unison student feedback is exemplified by the most enjoyable, challenging, most relevant format of exam experience in higher education. With full access to all resources and cooperation with peers, one might assume an inflation of top grades. This proved, interestingly enough, not to be the case, as the grades awarded spanned from A to D. Home exams are nothing new, and regardless of subject, there is the issue of plagiarism, an ongoing game of cat and mouse, where some students, some of them unknowingly, trying to get away with plagiarism, and examiners and teachers may spend considerable time attempting to uncover this. Where to start the action research, developing the Tableau home exam was triggered by a somewhat agitated, or should I say, even angry student. The student was angry that she could not find the answer to a given task on the internet. Great, I have found a good task, was my reaction. This spurred me on to develop an exam format where you may not readily find the answer on the internet. The Tableau format encourages students to cooperate, and the nature of the exam being one where the students need to create their own tableau and tasks based on their personal interests, strengths, and creativity, along with reflections over and reasoning for their choices, does simply not lend itself to plagiarism. And besides, it proved far more enjoyable assessing the exam papers when there are not two identical ones. Challenging for me as a teacher for not being able to compare answer for answer, but also a positive challenge where I need to sharpen my wits rather than to count the points.
So I just want to start out by saying that this exam was really exciting to work with and totally different from any other exam I've ever had. So when I first got the task, I totally fell in love because it was so creative and different. But at the same time, it was kind of scary because it was difficult and it was a challenge, because as long as you just keep one foot inside of the curriculum and the competence aims of the age group you've chosen, you could basically do whatever you like. So you just have to be creative and have some imagination